Organ failure has become a significant global public health issue. A study conducted by Pedersen et al. In 2019 in Denmark found a new incidence of organ failure at 1,342 per 100,000 people yearly, with a prevalence of 5.2% of all emergency department visits. In Nigeria, it has also been reported by Ogudipe in 2023 that there is a higher demand of organs, resulting in a severe shortage of legitimate transplantation and an emergence of a blooming black market for organ trafficking, putting desperate patients at substantial risk. To counter this illicit activity, addressing root causes is crucial, requiring a subtle approach that goes beyond legal measures. Using inmates on death row to meet organ demand serve as a means of saving life, an opportunity to contribute something positive amidst the acknowledgement of past mistakes and the acceptance of the consequences. It is a chance to reflect on the past, recognizing any wrongdoing, and making a final contribution for the greater good. This documentary aims to explore community perceptions and moral implications surrounding the potential use of inmates on death row to meet organ demand in Nigeria. Data for this documentary was collected in October 2023 by Blue Gate team in Ibadan, where we interviewed a total of 6 individuals, comprising 2 females and 4 males, to explore their perception of the utilization of inmates on death row to meet organ demand in Nigeria. When asked about their awareness of organ demand, the majority of people interviewed mentioned that they have heard of organ demand. One Miss Esther said that it means when a person is in need of an organ, either a kidney or heart.
Judging from the English definition, just like somebody that needs a part of organ in the body, like kidney transplants, heart transplants, and all that. So
our team further asked about their opinion about using inmates on death row to meet organ demand in Nigeria. The interviewees presented a range of opinions, from openness to the idea of the inmates consenting willing to a more cautious approach, while the emphasis on voluntariness and consent emerged as a common thread in their responses. One Ms. Aiboye shared a positive view, stating that organ donation from an inmate on death row could be a good idea, especially if there is a need for organ donation and the inmates are willing to contribute.
It's actually not a bad idea because there are some sick people, for instance, probably they need a kidney transplant and probably they don't have donors. For inmates that are on death row, actually, I think it would be a nice thing to do, a kind of last wish or doing something good for someone, at least before they move on to eternity.
Well, it's a dicey situation because the whole issue of capital punishment that leads to death row, and then since the person is going to die eventually, the organ should not just go to waste. But it's a dicey situation because it will need the consent of the individual.
On whether organ donation by inmates on death row could benefit both inmates and society by compensating for the crime against society, though the concept of organ donation benefiting both the inmates and society is acknowledged, the interviewees did not uniformly view it as a direct compensation for the inmates' crime. They emphasize other aspects, such as the positive contribution the inmates could make or the potential benefit to society and the recipient. One Mr. Oladapo said that it's fulfilling for the inmates and beneficial for the recipients and society.
Like I said earlier, it benefits the prisoner in a way that they might gain some sort of fulfillment, knowing that they are saving a life. And then the society, of course, for somebody that gets a new organ, you are renewing their hope in that sense. So to them as well, they are gaining something. So it might be beneficial for both parties.
On whether the prisoner's right to donate should depend on the nature of their crime, all the people interviewed expressed a consistent perspective that the nature of their crime should not influence the prisoner's rights to organ donation. They emphasized the significance of obtaining voluntary consent from the prisoner as a primary factor in determining their eligibility for donation.
Well, like I said earlier, it does not depend on the nature of the crime. It just depends simply on consent. Even though the criminal, in quotes, is on the death row, he still has to give his consent to donate his organs. So it's not dependent on what level of crime he commits or whatever crime he commits. Is he consenting to donating his organs?
In conclusion, using inmates on death row to meet organ demand in Nigeria is a viable solution given the considerable number of individuals in need of organ donors. However, it is essential that the death row inmates willingly consent to this process. Their involvement should be based on informed decisions, ensuring they are fully aware of and agree to the initiative voluntarily. Coercion or forceful measures should be strictly avoided in this context.